Hello everybody. Sorry, don't mind my face here. So as you can tell by the title of my video that I unfortunately miscarried the baby. I really wanted to get this video out of the way because I'm getting a bit tired of telling the story. Because so many people have been asking and talking to me about it, and I just want to kind of get this out of the way. Also because obviously I won't be posting any more pregnancy update videos, and also because I wanted to let everybody know that my miscarriage did not happen in the typical way. I know that this obviously has happened to other women this way. But I just wanted to let everybody know that sometimes the miscarriages don't happen. Like, your typical miscarriage is either like you get really, 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 really bad cramping and then you start to bleed, or you start bleeding and you get really, really bad cramping and then, you end up passing your baby or have to go to the hospital and get a DNC or whatever. So, what happened for me was not like that, per se. I hit the 13-week mark. I thought that I was fine since I was past 12 weeks. I had, my my pregnancy announcement, planned for Mother's Day. I already had pictures and everything ready. The only reason why I hadn't announced it yet was because they hadn't found the heartbeat yet, but I wasn't too worried about that because I went and got checked at 11 weeks and they couldn't find it, but that's still a bit early for some people. Like for my first pregnancy, they couldn't find my son's heartbeat until 13 weeks, so yeah, so I wasn't too worried about it. I have an appointment on Thursday, and that was when I was supposed to go hear the heartbeat, and then if I heard the heartbeat then I was going to announce it on Mother's Day. I had already bought clothes, and I already had paint splotches for my room because I was going to make it into a half nursery. I got a job for the summer to make extra money to buy some extra baby things, so I was getting prepared for this baby. I was 13 weeks, and so I thought that everything was going great. There was no signs of miscarriage, and so I was feeling amazing, and all was well. So I thought, until Thursday, I went to the bathroom and I wiped, and there was a drop of blood on the Kleenex, and so I was a bit worried because, of course, anyone would worry about blood when they're pregnant. The only thing that worried me about it was that it was red. It wasn't pink or brown, it was red, so that means it was fresh blood, which made me a bit concerned, but I didn't worry about it too much at the very beginning because there are so many reasons why pregnant people might slightly bleed, through their pregnancy, so I wasn't too worried about it, but a couple hours later, they went to the bathroom and there was a bit more, and so I went to the hospital, and they made me pee in a cup, they took my blood, they did some swabs. They thought it might have been a bladder infection at first because there was hardly any blood, there was not very much, and I wasn't cramping. I felt completely fine other than a couple drops of blood, so yeah. Anyways, so then they tried to find the heartbeat and they couldn't find it. And so I was 13 weeks supposedly by this time. And so they were a bit concerned because they should be able to find the heartbeat at 13 weeks. And so then I was a bit concerned because I was like, okay, why can't they find the heartbeat? Maybe, but sometimes they still can't find it around then. It just depends on how your uterus is and the baby and stuff. So I wasn't panicking because in my mind I wasn't having miscarriage symptoms. I was not cramping at all. I was not bleeding very much, like hardly at all. Like I was felt pregnant. I felt fine. Like it just ugh. So I went for an ultrasound the next day, and I was absolutely terrified of this ultrasound because it was either going to go like fantastically or it was going to go awful. So as soon as I laid down for her to do the ultrasound, I started to cry because I knew that it was going to be a life-changing like moment for me. So during the ultrasound, she didn't let me see the screen, but I thought maybe she wasn't allowed to, considering my situation. So I didn't panic. Then she did an internal ultrasound, and I had a sliver of hope when she did the internal one. Because in my mind, I was like, why would she do an internal ultrasound if she just did the regular ultrasound and she could tell if the baby was alive or not by that? So I was like, why would she do an internal one? But the reason why she was doing an internal one was because she was trying to get closer to find the heartbeat. So after the ultrasound, she had my doctor on the phone within like 10 minutes, and they told me that they could not find a heartbeat and that the baby was measuring only 8 weeks, so it probably passed away about a month ago. And my body just didn't process it. It just thought I was still pregnant. So for a month, I have been carrying around my dead baby, I guess, and I felt pregnant. I felt fine, had no signs of miscarriage, and I thought I was like healthily pregnant. So yeah. So then the next day I had to go for a DNC. They gave me 2 pills to take because for what a DNC is they make you dilate a little bit. They stick a suction up into your uterus and suck and scrape everything out of there so that you can start fresh. And you're obviously not pregnant anymore. So they gave me these pills, and as soon as I took them, I started to bleed right away. Like I had hardly bled throughout this whole thing, but as soon as I took those pills, I started to bleed right away. And by the time I got to the emergency the next day for my DNC, I was having light contractions because it does make you dilate, and I was bleeding profusely. So, and another thing that really sucked was the lady that was checking me in and everything was like probably like 7 months pregnant. So like here I am in midst of a miscarriage and I'm sitting in front of a pregnant lady. So that really hurt. I started to cry as soon as I saw her, but I got my shit together and kept going. So right before I went for my DNC, I actually went to the bathroom and passed the baby. It came out. So that was devastating. That was the worst moment of my life, sitting on a hospital toilet and passing my child. So that was awful. I had to get my DNC still, where they say they put me under and everything, and I woke up and it was done. So yeah, it's been about, well, this all happened on Saturday and now it's Tuesday, so it really hasn't been that long, but yeah. I go back to work tomorrow, and tomorrow's kind of like my start fresh day. I've kind of just been sitting on my couch and haven't really gone anywhere since all this has happened. I haven't really talked to very many people, but I don't know. I just wanted to get this out of the way, and it's been really hard. I have been having a hard time with it, obviously, but I'm not letting it discourage me. I'm gonna try again in December after my son's 2nd birthday, and yeah. Obviously, I'll never forget this pregnancy and this experience. Like, even though that I never got to hear the heartbeat, I never got to see the baby, it it was still very, very real to me. It was still my baby, and I was going to have it in 6 months, and I was planning for its arrival, and I was its mother already in my mind. So it's still a great loss, and my life would be completely different if this didn't happen. I would be having a little baby, a little human, a little being in 6 months, and now it's just not happening. Sometimes it feels a bit surreal, like I'll forget that it's all happened, and then I'll like remember, and then I'll be like, oh, right. Or I'll be playing with my son and I'll be okay, and then all of a sudden I'll have like a flashback to some like one of the many terrible moments in the past few days, and it's been tough. But I just wanted to get my story out there, and I just wanted to get this over with, and I just wanted to let people know. And yeah, I think that's all I'm going to talk about today. And I will be back in a couple weeks for another video. I just need some time to like heal, so yeah. Anyways, thank you all for listening to this depressing story, and I hope that maybe it helps some other women, and I will be back in a couple weeks. Thanks, guys.